Hey, you guys. So today, when we talk about the People's Life prescriptions, we're going to talk about Sleep Life. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how my sleep has transitioned over the years and how aging has impacted and all the things that I think have been impacting my sleep and the struggle that I have had with sleep and how I have been working actively to overcome. So let's dive right in. So I believe if I'm, my memory isn't always that great, but if I believe over the course of my lifespan, I think I slept pretty well. Um, I don't remember really having an issue with sleep in my younger years. But I will tell you that when I guess this would have been in my early 30s, I was what they call a nocturnist, which is a doctor that works at night. And so my sleep wake cycle was all off. And even at that time, I knew that it wasn't healthy to like not sleep at night. But I was about that money at that time. And I was like, you make more money at night. So I worked at night. But I knew it could not be long lived. And when I stopped working nights and I went to days, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that's when I started to see some problems in my sleep, where I'm very sensitive to light. Everything would wake me up. I would have problems going to sleep. My mind became more active. It just kept running over and over again. And so I could lay in bed for hours and not sleep. And I remember it coming to a head. And I'm trying to think, even, during when I had small children, I'm sure that also impacted my sleep. So around this time, I was having kids. So I was on my second kid when I was a nocturnist, and my third kid when I decided to stop being a nocturnist. So my sleep and the working at night all kind of coincided. So it was really after that period, after having kids, that I started to notice, the issues with my sleep. And a lot of it just was problems going to sleep, not waking up in the middle of the night, really just going to sleep. And I mean, I really struggled. And part of it was not accepting that I needed to do something different. Like cognitively, I knew I needed to do something differently, but I was so stuck in my ways that it was really hard for me to actually do the thing that would help me sleep better. And so I have all this book knowledge on how to improve your sleep, but none of that matters. What you know doesn't matter if you're not willing to do it. And it took me a couple of years. I am not lying. A couple of years to like really commit to my sleep. And so what did I do? So here's some of the book knowledge. These are some of the things that I knew I needed to do, and can't say that I was 100% with it. But again, it took me years to sort of develop habits around them. So number one is setting up a sleep routine. So in the very beginning, I would say I was going to go to bed at a certain time, but it wasn't until I actually committed to like going to sleep and waking up at the same time that and it became a routine. And honestly, it took me a couple of years to like get into that. But I kept at it. I just kept at it. Like, Nicole, you really need to get in control of the sleep. You really need to like set a bedtime and try to stick to it. I also started doing more stress management things to like calm my mind. So things like journaling or meditation. Also, again, took me a while to get that into a habit so that it would actually support my sleep. I was really sensitive to light, so I got blackout shades in my house. I would use a eye covering to make the room dark. I made sure that my temperature was low enough, so I really tried to sleep with the temperature around 68. I stopped drinking fluids close to bedtime, so I wasn't waking up in the middle of the night to like pee. I would start working out more in the mornings, and that also helped me with sleep. I started getting more daytime exposure, and getting sunlight in the middle of the day or in the morning also helps with sleep. So it was like this accumulation of things. And then I also started using supplements. So I would use supplements that promoted sleep. And I did try to take some medications at one point, but I really didn't like that. So I stopped that. So I tried it, but it wasn't really my thing. And I mean, it just gradually got better. It took a really long time. And even now, my sleep isn't ideal. Oh, I started tracking. So invested in an Oura ring, which is supposed to help with sleep, and it actually does. And I'm able to actually see how much I sleep every night. And so I wake up every morning, and the first thing I look is how long did I sleep? It tells me when I fell asleep, how many times I woke up in the middle of the night, and all of this thing, and all of that knowledge, because I'm a nerd like that. I like this information. So that also, like, it gave me something to work towards. Like, oh, I need to make sure that I'm getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So I really try to incorporate all of that into my lifestyle. Some other things that I do, I don't always do them, but I know to do them, is I really pay attention to the lighting in my house. So I have like blue blocking lamps. I have blue blocking glasses. I avoid screen time right before bed, even though I have to admit that recently I've gotten worse about that. I do sleepy time tea, right? So I've developed a bunch of routines that I try to employ as many of them every night as possible. And like I said, it's taken me years to get my sleep under control, and I'm just in a good place now. At some point, I'll show you guys my sleep data so you can see how things have changed over time. And you'll see that not every night is a great night, but the trend is moving in the right direction. So again, lots of different options to incorporate if any of these sound like they rub your fancy. Try some of them and see if they work for you.